Okay, welcome to our database tutorial. This is going to show you how to create your first database and your first table, and it follows the instructions that are in your notes. So to start with, we need to load Access 2010. Go to here, go All Programs. On my system, it's stored in Microsoft Office up here, and Access 2010. Okay, we need to start with a blank database that's selected by default here. Down here is the name of our table or database, and we can use this to browse. Once we're happy with all of this information here, we just click Create. So I'm going to browse. I'm actually quite happy to store mine in the Documents folder, but if you needed to, you could go down here and choose a USB stick or a different folder to store your database on. But as I said, I'm happy where mine is. So down here I'm going to put in the name of the database, and our database is called National Book Distributors Southeast. When I'm going to type clients, and of course the file extension stays the same. I'm happy with that. I can click OK. Notice it comes down here, and all I need to do then is to click on the Create button. Okay, so it opens up in default into what we call Table View. You can see up here it says Table 1. This grey area up here, this is where you need to put your column headings in, not the white down there, otherwise you'll end up adding them as a record. It's really simple in Access 2010. ID is the first field, and that's your unique identifier. So you need to keep that. We might change the name of it later, but at the moment we'll just keep it as ID. Click to add, choose text as the field type, and then type in the field name. And our first field, apart from ID, is called business or client name. So that's our first one. Again, here, click to add, choose text, because all our fields for our first table are actually going to be text. Client address line 1. Click here. Oops, text. Client address line 2. Should always have 2 address lines because people could be in buildings or different apartments and things like that. Apart from the thing, you might not use them all, but it's good to have it. Click to add. So we've got address lines, client, oops, I keep doing that, it's text, client suburb, text, client state. Probably don't need to have this if you don't want to, because they're all going to be Victoria, but when you're doing address labels it does look a bit nicer to have the state there. Text, this is postcode. Even though it is actually numbers, we should call it a text field. The general consensus is that unless you're doing calculations or it's a currency or a dollar amount, your fields that contain numbers should probably be text, especially if they're product numbers, phone numbers, postcodes and things like that. You're not going to do any kind of mathematical calculation on them, so just keep them as text. So this is client postcode, text. Next one is business or client type. Again, I was thinking of using this so that you could differentiate between the different clients, whether it's an educational institution or a public library or a special library. You could use some kind of type description, again more for reporting and for doing queries on later. So we've got business type. Now we're going to put the actual contact details, so contact name, oops, contact position. Do have to be careful, I'm using a laptop, sometimes my hands get in the way there. So next one is contact phone number. And the last one is the contact email address, text. So we're finished adding the actual column headings or the field names. So we're just going to add one piece of data, and I'm just going to add myself there because I know all the information easily. So all I'm going to do is go up to here, click on the new. By default that's going to automatically generate, so I don't actually need to type anything there, so I just press tab to go to the next field. One you'll see when you finish the bit of information, that will become 1 and the next one will become 2, etc. So that will be generated by Access. So our business or client name is Chisholm TAFE. Client address, building A, number 2, New Holland Drive in Cranbourne, Victoria 3977. The business type will be educational. Contact name is me, as I said. Oops, might need to put a capital H there. Trying to go too quickly sometimes. Contact position, what can I make myself? I'm going to be the head honcho. Contact phone number, put it in full, 03 5990 7113. Contact email address, and that's it. I've entered my first actual record. Just pressed enter and it's automatically moved me down to the next line. As you can see, the ID's become 1 and the information is here along here, the first record that I've typed in. Of course I can just keep typing in and add to this. This is a table view and this is your default view in Access. Table 1, because we haven't actually saved our design yet, it's just a generic table 1. As soon as we click save, and we're going to call this clients, so type in clients, click OK, and you can see now our table is called clients. So there we are, we've created our database up here, and we've created our first table that is part of the database. All of your information is stored within this table. Access offers you different kinds of views, which we'll be looking at, such as form view, report view, queries and things like that, and we'll look at these in turn. But the main thing about entering the data and getting the data in is to put it inside a table.